Let's cut straight to the point. Dealing with people who don't respect you is one of the most frustrating and disheartening challenges you'll ever face. Whether it's a colleague, a so-called friend, or even a family member, the sting of disrespect can shake your confidence and make you question your worth. Trust me, I've been there. I've set clear boundaries and faced moments where I felt small, belittled, and dismissed. But here's the cold, hard truth. You don't have to tolerate disrespect from anyone. It's time to stop letting people walk all over you and reclaim your power. In this video, I'm going to share with you 8 raw and brutally honest strategies to handle people who don't respect you. These aren't the sugar-coated, feel-good tips you might be used to hearing. These are real, no-nonsense approaches rooted in Stoic wisdom and personal experience. I'm not here to tell you to ignore it or rise above it. I'm here to give you the tools to stand your ground and demand the respect you deserve. If you've ever felt like you're constantly fighting for respect, then stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have the confidence and strategies to deal with anyone who dares to disrespect you. Ready to take control? Let's dive in. 1. Set clear boundaries. The first and most important step in handling people who don't respect you is to set firm boundaries. This isn't about being passive or hoping they'll get the hint. It's about directly telling them what behavior is acceptable and what isn't. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you, and if you're letting them disrespect you without consequence, they'll keep doing it. I've learned this the hard way. There was a time when I let people push me around, thinking that being nice would eventually earn their respect. Spoiler alert, it didn't. It wasn't until I drew a line in the sand, clearly stating my limits, that I saw a shift. Whether it's a boss who oversteps or a friend who's constantly belittling you, you need to let them know where your line is. Respect doesn't come from silence. It comes from standing up for yourself. Be assertive, not aggressive. State your boundaries calmly but firmly. For example, if someone continually interrupts or talks over you, let them know, I value respect in conversations, and I need you to allow me to finish speaking. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but the discomfort is temporary. The respect you'll earn by enforcing your boundaries will last much longer. 2. Don't engage in power struggles. Here's a harsh truth. People who disrespect you often thrive on the power dynamics they create. They want to get under your skin, make you react, and pull you into a power struggle. But reacting emotionally, whether it's getting defensive, angry, or upset, only plays into their hands. The more you engage in their drama, the more power you give them over you. Instead, stay calm, composed, and indifferent. I'm not saying you should let them get away with disrespect, but I am saying you shouldn't let their behavior dictate your emotions. When you remain unbothered, you take away their control. It sends a message that their attempts to undermine or provoke you won't work. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that be your mantra. Focus on controlling your reaction, not their actions. The next time someone disrespects you, instead of arguing or trying to win, simply disengage. Respond with calm, logical statements and walk away if necessary. This not only preserves your dignity but also leaves them powerless. 3. Limit your exposure to them. One of the best ways to handle people who don't respect you is to simply limit your exposure to them. Sometimes you have no choice but to interact with disrespectful individuals, whether they're colleagues, family members, or acquaintances. However, you do have a choice about how much time and energy you allow them to take up in your life. I used to think I had to tolerate disrespect because I couldn't completely avoid certain people, but here's what I discovered. You can minimize their influence. If it's someone at work, limit your interactions to what's necessary. If it's a friend or family member, don't engage in unnecessary conversations or activities with them. Protect your space because the more time you spend around toxic people, the more they drain you. You don't need to make a big announcement about distancing yourself. Just quietly remove yourself from their presence whenever possible. The less time you spend with people who disrespect you, the less power they have to affect your mood, energy, and self-esteem. Respect yourself enough to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. Respond with silence. One of the most powerful responses to disrespect is silence. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every rude comment deserves a reply. In fact, responding with silence can often speak louder than any words. Disrespectful people expect a reaction. They want to provoke you, make you lose your cool, or get into a heated debate. When you deny them that satisfaction by staying silent, it leaves them grasping for control. There's strength in silence. It shows that you're not going to lower yourself to their level or engage in petty arguments. You're above the noise. I've learned that sometimes the best way to handle disrespect is to let it hang in the air. Don't defend yourself, don't explain yourself. Just let your silence do the talking. Next time someone disrespects you, try this. Instead of immediately reacting, pause, take a deep breath, and let the silence fill the space. Not only does it give you time to collect your thoughts, but it also forces the other person to sit with the weight of their words. And trust me, silence can be far more unsettling to them than any rebuttal you could offer. 5. Set clear boundaries again. If someone disrespects you repeatedly, it's crucial to set clear boundaries. Disrespect often happens because people don't know where your lines are, or worse, they assume you won't stand up for yourself. Setting boundaries isn't about being confrontational. It's about respecting yourself enough to communicate what is and isn't acceptable. I used to struggle with this, thinking that setting boundaries would come off as rude or aggressive. But here's the truth. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they teach others how to treat you. When you don't establish them, people will take advantage of your silence or hesitation. A simple but firm statement like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or "Please don't interrupt me when I'm talking," can go a long way in letting someone know where you stand. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but once you set those boundaries, you'll notice that disrespect becomes harder for others to continue. People will either start respecting your limits, or they'll drift away because they can't handle being held accountable. 6. Don't take it personally. When people don't respect you, it can feel deeply personal, like a reflection of your worth. But here's a harsh reality. Their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Disrespect is often a projection of their own insecurities, frustrations, or bitterness. Once you stop taking their behavior personally, you'll feel a huge weight lift off your shoulders. I've been there, overanalyzing every comment or action, thinking I must have done something wrong to deserve it. But the moment I stopped internalizing their actions, I realized the problem wasn't me. It was them. They were lashing out because of their own issues, not because of anything I did. This shift in perspective can be incredibly freeing. Instead of feeling hurt or angry, you can approach the situation with a sense of detachment. Remind yourself that their behavior is a reflection of their character, not your value. You have the power to decide how much their disrespect affects you. By not taking it personally, you regain control over your emotions and reactions. 7. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make when someone doesn't respect you is to walk away. Disrespect, when left unchecked, has a way of slowly eroding your self-esteem, and staying in a toxic environment where your worth is constantly questioned can have long-lasting negative effects on your mental health, energy, and confidence. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness or defeat. On the contrary, it's a strong declaration of self-worth. It's about saying, "I refuse to be treated this way," and taking action to protect your inner peace. I used to believe that walking away meant I was giving up or letting the other person win, but I came to realize that it's not about winning or losing, it's about choosing yourself. You don't have to stay and endure disrespect just to prove a point or because you think you have to be tough enough to withstand it. No amount of explaining or arguing will change someone who's committed to belittling or mistreating you. When I started walking away from these situations, I didn't feel like I lost anything. In fact, I felt a wave of relief and freedom because, at the end of the day, protecting your peace is a victory in itself. Walking away can take many forms, from something as simple as physically removing yourself from a toxic conversation to something as complex as cutting ties with a person who consistently disrespects you. It might mean ending a long-standing friendship or relationship, or making the tough decision to leave a workplace where you're not valued. Though these decisions aren't easy, they are often necessary for your long-term well-being. Walking away gives you the control to decide who is worthy of your time and energy, and it sends a clear message to others that your self-respect is non-negotiable. 8. Surround yourself with supportive people. Dealing with disrespect is draining, especially if it feels like you're going through it alone. The weight of constantly having to defend your worth can make you feel isolated and emotionally exhausted. That's why surrounding yourself with people who uplift, encourage, and respect you is essential for maintaining your mental and emotional well-being. A strong support system not only acts as a buffer against the negativity you might face, but also serves as a reminder that you are valued and loved. I can't overstate how important it was for me to have a close circle of friends and family who genuinely cared about my well-being. Whenever I faced disrespect, they were there to listen, offer support, and remind me that I deserved better. These were the people who had my back when I was too emotionally drained to stand up for myself. Knowing that I had people in my corner rooting for me gave me the courage to walk away from disrespectful situations and not feel guilty about it. They helped me see that my value wasn't tied to how others treated me but to how I treated myself. Moreover, surrounding yourself with supportive people can also help you build up your self-confidence, which in turn makes it easier to handle disrespect in the future. These people reinforce the idea that you deserve kindness, respect, and decency, which empowers you to stand firm against anyone who tries to undermine you. They provide a space for you to vent, process, and heal from negative experiences, which is critical when you've been disrespected. Their positive influence can help shift your focus from the hurt to the lessons learned and remind you that you are not defined by the disrespect of others. Building a supportive network might mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships, but it's worth it. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When you surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than tear you down, it becomes much easier to recognize and reject disrespect. Handling disrespect isn't easy, but the way you respond can either reinforce or undermine your self-worth. Remember, how people treat you says more about them than it does about you, but how you react says everything about the level of respect you have for yourself. Whether you choose to set firm boundaries, speak up, walk away, or simply refuse to engage, the power is in your hands. You don't have to tolerate behavior that diminishes your value. The key takeaway is this: you deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. And if someone can't offer that, it's your right, no, your responsibility to protect your peace. When you surround yourself with people who uplift you and take control of the way you allow others to treat you, you set the standard for how you expect to be treated. Disrespect may come your way, but you'll be better equipped to handle it with grace, confidence, and self-respect. So, the next time you encounter disrespect, remember the tools you have at your disposal. Don't let anyone make you feel small. Stand tall, set your boundaries, and always choose yourself. Thank you for taking the time to read, and if you found these insights helpful, be sure to share them with others who might need a reminder of their own power and worth. Let's continue to build a community of respect and strength, where we uplift and support one another. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, respect starts from within.